Hello, I'm Timothy Brasby, and today I'm going to show you how to add your cover onto a spiral ring template. Now this is pretty easy. We're going to be using two different effects. We're going to be using masks, and we're also going to be using the vanishing point filter. These are pretty simple to use, but they're complex enough that it's worth looking at this with a tutorial. So, first step is we're going to copy this cover, which has already been designed. We're going to copy it onto these other layers. First, we're going to hit Command A, or if you're on a PC, Control A. This will have selected the entire image. Be sure that you are selected on one layer. All of your other layers should be merged into one layer so you can copy this. Once you've selected this layer and you have the image selected, hit Command C or Control C if you're on a PC. And then let's start with the easier template, the flat planner. So then I'm going to paste it in, which is Control V or Command V, and it should look about like this. Now I know that this is too big. It's larger than my spiral ring notebook, so I'm going to scale it so it fits about perfectly. So move it over. I want it to just be covering the notebook cover, just totally covering it, but not by a lot. Once I have moved it and scaled it around correctly, I'm going to hit Enter. Then I'm going to hit, once I'm going to go over to the layer panels, I'm going to hit Alt or Option, select the mask from layer 1, not the layer itself, just the mask. Select the mask, click, hold, and drag it to my cover layer. Once you do that, it will have perfectly masked out the cover. So it masked around the spirals and the holes and the edges and the curves and everything. So that looks good. This is a pretty easy one to do. Once again, if you needed to shift this after you've added the mask, you can hit Command Z or Control Z. You can undo it, slide it around maybe a little bit, and then once again hit Alt or Option, click the mask, not the layer, the mask, click, hold, and drag it, and it adds it to the cover just nicely. So that's how you do the flat plane, the flat cover, which is the easier of the two. Now the other one has an angle to it, which if we just pasted the image on right now and masked it, it would look like a flat image masked at this odd angle. It wouldn't look like the cover is actually sitting on top of the notebook, which is what we want to do. We want to give it a little bit of depth of field, a little bit of perspective. So what we're going to do, we're going to be selected on the layer, the top layer with the mask on it. You can't see it, but it's there. So it looks like layer 0 copy. We want to be sure we're selected on this layer. We need to go to Filter, Vanishing Point. Once this opens up, you should see a nice little grid going along the outside of the edge. This grid is the plane of the notebook cover. So we're going to paste our notebook cover onto this plane, and it will correctly orient it so it looks like the cover is actually sitting on the notebook. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Command V or Control V and paste it on. Now this is a pretty big effect, so some of these things have a little bit of lag or take a while. So it's not, the image isn't on the plane or the grid that we established earlier, is it? No, it's still just a normal 2D image. What you need to do is you need to click on the image outside of the grid. So like out here, you can't select it in here. Click here and then just drag it inside the grid. Look at that. Just immediately oriented correctly. Now this looks like it's quite a bit bigger than we want it to be. So I'm going to select the transform tool right here. Be sure that you have a corner revealed. If not, drag until you reveal a corner. And you're going to be looking for this icon right here. Not a rotating icon, the icon that will let you to scale it. So holding Shift, you'll want to scale this down. So until the top and the bottom are completely covering the plane. This shouldn't take too long. About right there maybe? Let's see. Oh, a little bit more. Right about there. Now it's worth noting that this notebook isn't necessarily the same size as your cover. So you may be cutting off part of the T in the end from student, or this QR block right here is going to get covered up by a spiral. But since this is just a preview of your cover on a notebook, this isn't a big deal, but you want to be aware of it. So once you have your cover on, you want to hit OK. And there we go. Added it right on. Pretty simple, right? Not too hard. We don't have to drag any masks around because that was all done in the vanishing point and it was masked ahead of time. So this cover is on, this cover is on, and it looks nice. You can take a good preview of your notebook cover. So I hope this tutorial was helpful and you learned a lot from it. Thank you for watching.